Natural forests in Uganda are some of the last preserves of the richest flora and fauna. But the rate of illicit logging is threatening large swaths as trees are being felled to feed the appetite of a global wood processing industry. Uganda's forests have been depleted and estimates have placed what is left at 8%. Panorama spent about a fortnight in Adjumani district investigating illicit logging. Adjumani is at the tip of West Nile and borders South Sudan. It is separated from Moyo district by the pale blue waters of River Nile. From the lumberjack inside the forests that descend deep into the bowels of the earth to police and traffic officers, forest officers, district leaders and the buyers in Kampala, the tightly knit criminal cartel is able to run this market trade seamlessly. Aliwala village is a shabby outpost in Mungula sub-county, Adjumani. It lies at the perils of this forest. Trudging through a village path as the wind gently sweeps across a canopy of trees, we came at the edge of this forest. Here, freshly cut logs lie on the ground as others are measured in size by these loggers. Stems of cut trees are visibly fresh. Some of these men are armed with buzzing sawmills and are ready to cut even more trees. A judicial officer, we are told, owns this sawmill, which was recently confiscated by a forest ranger. A tractor and old Bedford trucks are used to ferry these logs. Some of the dealers in this area driving a vehicle with Kenyan number plates await to accomplish a purchase. Others in this vicinity discuss the details of a transaction. It is this logging trade that has partly transformed Adjumani, once a backwater, into a bustling hive. Yet the effects of the environment will be much more costly to restore than a few structures that litter the streets of this town. Many communities have been displaced as deforestation has slowed the torrential rains that used to pound this area. As a result, their source of livelihood, especially farming, has been affected.
What we normally see is the trucks leaving our compound with the logs. This has affected us so much. You can even see how bare our ground is. For the last 2 months, we have not been receiving rain. It's very unusual that such things normally happened here.
The birds, monkeys and insects have since fled their cradle as logging expands inside the forest. Every night, trucks laden with logs negotiate hundreds of kilometers headed towards Adjumani town. Many of these trucks are cleared at police roadblocks without any inspection. Other roadblocks are left unmanned. In order to prove this syndicate, we trailed some of the trucks carrying logs. We were able to film a truck which, upon passing a checkpoint in Atiak on the Gulu-Nimule highway, the driver was cleared to proceed. But upon reaching Gulu town, he tried to avoid other checkpoints. We also witnessed another truck carrying logs from Adjumani district. Its number plate is UAD 498Q. We were curious about its final destination and we decided to trail it while remaining undetected. Often we drove ahead of it to be able to get more video footage. With the complicity of authorities, the driver finally arrives in Kampala despite numerous roadblocks. He later drives to Namanve Industrial Park where the logs are offloaded and assembled for export. From this footage, the truck is seen parked after the logs were removed. The next day it leaves the park, perhaps for yet another trip to pick more logs in West Nile. Amanzuru William Leslie, who is a community leader in Adjumani, says illicit logging has threatened the livelihoods of communities in West Nile. Amanzuru says he's disappointed with the security for shirking its responsibility of fighting crime.
Right from the forest you have roadblocks or checkpoints. But then you see these cartel guys beat the checkpoints. They don't use intelligence. The intelligence they have is money. Now, if money is part of our intelligence, then I don't know how far we shall go as a country, because they pay money to the security officers, they are released, they go to the next checkpoint around Gulu, they also pay money, they are released. The next checkpoint around Karuma, you pay money, you are released. The next checkpoint around Maduga, you pay money, you are released, up to when the logs reach the final destination within the country. And from the final destination, these logs officially leave our borders, and then they are shipped. I don't know, either shipped or airlifted, whatever, they go to another destination.
Essentially, there is a logger who has ever been coming also with some friends from Amoro, until we struggled our best last year to intervene. But still, he mentions the heavyweights of the district politicians, some of the heavyweights, not all of them, but some of the heavyweights of the district politicians, which has made work difficult, and we don't have even transport system.
About a fortnight ago, the first Deputy Premier, General Moses Ali, told an audience in Adjumani that district authorities should enforce a ban on logging and sell off the old stock of logs which had already been cut. However, he ominously warned against the dangers of deforestation and implored the community to plant trees to replenish the dwindling forests.
We also agreed that a lot of climate degradation has been done. Many people have cut the trees. And the rate of our trees has been doubled. Because of the refugees, they're also cutting, we're also cutting. So it is very, very important. Projects like this should not forget climate. I think the climate is mentioned. Yeah, but let us see what type of climate, because this is not our first time climate project has been talked about. So let us replace these trees that are being cut, so that when the refugees go back, at least we have something left behind.
But little did he know that some of the district leaders at the meeting have been accused of abetting this crime. Amadra Sabino is the acting district forest officer. In order to expose his involvement, our undercover reporter, purporting to be an illicit dealer, asks him whether he can facilitate the transfer of freshly cut logs from Adjumani. This interview is captured in the Madi local dialect.
The forest officer told him that the owner of this log is a high-profile person who works in the Adjumani district local government, whom he knows, and whose paper documentation for transportation of the logs is what he has worked on. So he expects the chairman not to interfere with that person's process, because this is a high-profile person with whom they will sort out the differences from the office, but not to be interfered by the chairman himself.
In this footage, the district police commander, Adjumani district, Simon Simsingira, is asked whether he can facilitate the transfer of logs. This undercover was undertaken after reports emerged that he is part of the racket. The DPC warns the purported dealer that he should be careful and be able to conceal the logs, because he had seen a vehicle of NTV in the area.
No, I was not around. I was not around. Mm.
Yeah, they are straight to the sometime back.
Mm.
As I talk now, the NTV is
Are you sure?
yes, they have come and they go to your place. They just go into your place to know the people are participating.
Mm.
They just called him.
Wow.
They were in good yesterday, they are locked, they are now in the park and they are now entered to cover. If there are any vehicles there, the what?
No, we have kept them somewhere. Actually, somebody notified me.
We want to hold every activity from the road.
Okay.
Then when you communicate others, everybody is monitoring the NTV, the community, they have information in Kampala, they are changing the armament, in the Apal, Tokyo, the route, the security road, so there's a problem.
Now,
Further notice.
but I know you will be of help for me.
Never know. Coordinate that, the RPC, the RDC, the January, just do things. We are able to be observing. We are observing the band.
For sure.
We are serious on it.
The undercover reporter reveals that he is aware of NTV's presence and has hidden the logs. As a way of facilitating the movement of the logs, the officer receives 100,000 shillings to what he refers to as an airtime fee.
And Peru's true.
How much is that?
100.
For what?
Airtime.
On the contrary, the DPC in a telephone interview with NTV on Saturday says since his deployment in February in Adjumani district, he has stamped out illicit logging.
Those who were arrested, like within this week I arrested 2 people of rogues and took them to court. So the hand is on, but the rate has now reduced. What is helping us is now the community. When they made the radio announcement that the people who are selling, you are also part of the trade. So we shall also arrest the landlords who are selling. Then you added the transporters. Then we said the LOCs and the community must always respond whenever they see any vehicle, whether it is carrying or not, as long as there is intention. And it is now twice that the community, especially in the sides of Aliwara, have been able to call me, the police, or any other person. There's a vehicle here loading, then you go and inbound and take to court like that.
He also revealed that he's neither involved nor aware of police officers in Adjumani who are complicit in this illicit trade.
If you always say that they are the owners of the business, which is a bit difficult. Cannot, because if the community calls that I want to come and arrest and I go and arrest, how do I facilitate? And of course, people are entitled to their opinion. When they see vehicles which are under the Mayamur and they go and they keep quiet, they will think you are conniving. But that was I have arrested. I have over 22 people in prison. Right from when I came in the Feb, you can even ask the friends of Zaka who will tell you. I have arrested the groups of people, the vehicles, the charcoal, the logs. We were combined before with the combined with within the decimal of arrested 3 categories of the logs people, taking them to go to the recordings are there. I don't know those who come ahead and disappear without our knowledge, being aided by the community themselves.
Police spokesperson Emilan Kaima told NTV in an interview on Thursday that he's aware that some officers and duty bearers are abetting this crime. However, Kaima argued that illicit logging requires the effort of all stakeholders to nip it in the bud.
That all duty bearers have to pull up their socks, have to fully appreciate that this logging is a problem. We all have to appreciate that it is a problem. If it is, the communities in these areas, the leaders in these areas have to fully understand and then agree on the way forward.
However, Kaima argued that in order to nip in the bud illicit logging, it requires the efforts of all stakeholders. He warned that those implicated would face disciplinary action.
For those who facilitate this, our administrative structures and the professional standards unit that follows, they are going to pursue this so that we punish our own, so that the other duty bearers will do the same.
Uganda has already lost over 2/3 of its forests in the last 30 years. If government does not halt the widespread destruction, largely through illicit logging, there are fears that the forests will be depleted, setting off a chain of catastrophe, including disease, famine, and conflict. Emmanuel Mutaiziwa, NTV.